Oh God. Starting off strong. Let me work my way up. I didn't do any of my vocal exercises today. I didn't think I needed the range.
I'm so sorry, Susato.
That's pretty close, right?
Yeah.
I should have told you about the toxin.
Ray.
You have a strong sense of responsibility, I know. That's why you decided to shoulder the burden alone.
No, that's not it at all. I was scared of my failure coming to light. That's all. So I hoped to retrieve the substance from the English women before anyone found out. Before the trial started, do you remember what you said, Susato? That you had no doubt in your mind about my innocence, that you stand by me to the last.
I remember.
And yet I didn't deserve your trust in me. I hid important details from you, Susato. I completely betrayed your faith in me.
When you put it that way.
Hit me, Susato. I deserve it. No, in fact, throw me to the floor.
If that's what you like.
No, that's too good for me as well. Drag me through the city streets.
Oh, well, I mean, shouldn't we keep that in the bedroom? I know better, you know.
Oh.
Even though in my heart I knew that you'd pulled the knife blade from Miss Brett's back. There was just a brief moment when, in my mind, I doubted you.
Susato!
I'm sorry. After I stood here and promised you that I'd stand by you always and always by your side. I betrayed your faith in me too. And as such, I failed you as a lawyer.
Oh, no.
I think the situation has taught us both. Has taught both of you a valuable lesson.
He didn't. He didn't learn anything.
I already knew it. It's okay. Praising your unbridled faith in another is no easy task.
Yes, Father. The fact has certainly struck home. Which is why I can see more clearly now. So, Ray.
Yes?
Can you find it in your heart to forgive me?
Oh, Susato. You know you'll always be a gallant, dashing lawyer in my eyes now.
Oh, Ray.
Raymembani.
I was so scared, you know. When it happened, I didn't know what was going on.
Ray's Auto. That's the ship name.
Risotto.
The English woman was sitting at the back of the hut, listening to what I had to say, to what I was saying. I know it was you who stole the poison.
Well, now, whatever do you mean?
And then a moment later, she suddenly got to her feet. Before collapsing on the floor in front of me with a knife in her back.
Taking backstab to a whole nother level.
It all happened right before my eyes.
The rogue did it. And you were the only people in the hut at the time.
That's right. Just Miss Brett and myself. There was no one else. So I don't understand how she could possibly have been stabbed like that.
A great mystery indeed.
I still can't believe it happened. That's why I couldn't bring myself to speak up.
It will be alright. However it happened, and whatever really went on by the sea that day, I promise you that I'm going to prove everything you've said you saw is true.
Spoken like a true Mikotoba. Now I think we should discuss what's coming up in the trial, don't you? We don't have much time. We must make sure we have our facts in order.
Yes, I expect the poison is going to come under close scrutiny in the upcoming proceedings. The police should hopefully have identified it on the blade by now.
The trouble is, it's a completely new laboratory synthesized blend of alkaloids. The police won't have any way for testing for it.
Oh, I see.
Yes, without this chemical reagent, it's impossible to detect the toxin.
Chemical reagent?
I sent a colleague of mine off with some earlier to deliver the police headquarters. I think perhaps you should have some as well, though, just in case.
Thank you, I'll cherish it always.
Glug, glug, glug. Bottoms up. What's the matter, Susato? You're suddenly very quiet.
It's this newspaper article. Exclusive, deadly poison stolen from Yume Medical Research Laboratory. Wondering how the information got out, given that it was government secret.
They'll go upstairs.
It was all that English woman's doing.
What?
I said it was all that English woman's doing. It was when the professor and Soseki-san were being interviewed at the laboratory. That so-called English lady swaned in, and without any compunction, said to Professor Mikotoba,
Oh, Professor. Surely your guests would love to hear about your work on that substance there. It put me in a very awkward position, to be frank. Soseki-san's curiosity had been piqued, so I had little choice but to give him a cursory introduction.
So then, Soseki-san knew about the poison.
Yes, and it's highly likely that the reporter who was writing up the story about us would have caught a glimpse of the toxin too.
This Menimemo-san. By the way, did that reporter join you all when you went to the beach?
Oh, no, I don't remember the reporter being there.
Indeed, he shouldn't have been. I very much doubt anyone would have wanted him there.
Bad bot. Bot, do not. I forgot to turn that timer off. Ignore that multi-stream link. There is not a multi-stream happening.
That'd be so funny if you were multi-streaming Great Ace Attorney Resolve. Is that what it is?
Is it? I always forget the subtitles. Oh.
A known criminal had been given permission by the authorities to bathe by the seaside. Soseki-san pointed out that inviting a reporter might be problematic, so the man was sent back to his office.
Yet he obviously didn't go back. He secretly followed the party to the beach and took this very candid photograph. And then presumably he posted it anonymously to the police.
Ah!
Yes, that must be what happened.
Counsel, we just heard word that the new witness is ready to testify. The trial is about to resume. Please proceed into the courtroom at once.
It's time to steel ourselves once again, then. Defense Attorney Ryutaru Naruhodo.
Yes. Ray has put her faith in me now and told me everything. So I can't let her down. I have to prove that what she's telling the court is true. I have to prove what really happened that day. Shit.
Hereby call this court to order as we reconvene to continue the trial of Ray Mimami. Prosecutor Ouchi, have you summoned the new witness?
I gotta remember.
Before I address that question, Your Excellency, I have some very important news to share.
Oh,
What news? And why does he look so happy about it?
During the recess with the collaboration of Professor Rikatoma's laboratory at Yume University, the police re-examined the knife that was used to end Miss Giselle Brett's life.
excellent. I admire your rapid handling of the matter.
Oh, too kind, Your Excellency, too kind. I was merely carrying out your instructions, of course.
I had those reagents delivered to police headquarters by rickshaw, so it would be there in good time.
But judging by the man's
Up.
That was my impression of Prosecutor Ouchi. It was pretty good, right?
Yes, I can't believe it.
Judging by the man's swag, I feel we might need to brace ourselves for the inevitable.
And counsel, what were the results?
What were the results?
What
were the results? Yeah, this is what I sound like.
Smooth.
Ellipses. This dagger, which was so cruelly used to end the life of the victim, has no trace of poison anywhere on its blade.
What? Are you sure about that?
I would stake the reputation of the police on it.
Armed with the reagent, the test is extremely simple. I couldn't have made a mistake.
There we go.
In short, the accused female excuse earlier has been utterly destroyed.
Ah!
Now the prosecution is ready to call the new witness.
The newspaper reporter who managed to capture a photograph of the crucial moment. Good. Very well, officer. Bring in the witness.
No trace of poison on the knife. But if that's really the case, how could the toxin have entered the victim's body?
Witness, please state your name and occupation for the court.
Okay, let me see how to do this. Right in Menimemo, the Shoyu News, and what people like to call a giorno. What's a giorno, Father? Do you know?
It's simply a contraction of journalist.
I'm where the news breaks, putting pen to paper to catch those scoops so they're in print the next morning. They don't call me the hero of the Herald for nothing. The nice guy of news. He's pretty muscular for like a nerd.
Yeah.
Oh,
it was you who took this photograph, was it?
well, what have we here?
I'm sorry?
Ooh, brace yourselves, people. Menimemo senses a scoop in the offing. Female student up to foul play defended by curiously handsome young lawyer in Supreme Court. The readers will lap this up. We'll set it above the fold at 72 point in a 5-leg format in the morning edition.
Huh?
Right then. Let's start with her name.
Oh, it's Ryutaro Naruhodo.
Next, what made you want to become a lawyer?
I wanted to reform our country's legal system, I suppose.
Ryutaro has suddenly become very ambitious, I see.
I just borrowed Kazuma-sama's dream for a while.
Yeah, by the way, my name is Taketsuchi Aoji. That's Taketsuchi Aoji. The so-called dark horse of the Supreme Court. My objections strike fear into every defense lawyer's heart.
No, the readers won't buy that.
What?
Witness,
Yes?
what this court demands to know is whether or not you were responsible for the taking of this picture. It was delivered anonymously to the Imperial Police Bureau only yesterday.
Yeah, I wouldn't be a giorno if I didn't click quick when presented with a scoop like that now, would I? Sometimes stories call out to me, sometimes I have to chase them down, but either way, you gotta be fast. Fast legs to run with, and fast hand to write with. It's no good if you don't note it down, I always say. That's what I call my Memimemoism.
Menimemonism.
Menimenoism?
Ah, yes, I remember your face. We met that day when you were interviewing myself and Soseki-san.
Yes, right. That was me, Menimemo again.
You're supposed to be going back to the Shoyu News offices after our meeting.
But the scoop is, I didn't. Because that Englishwoman's words had piqued my journalistic interest.
Miss Brett's words.
A criminal, left to do as she pleases just because she happens to be a British citizen? It's horse dung. The country's judiciary is rotten to the core. The Supreme Court's rulings aren't worth the paper they're written on. The police are just imperial pawns.
Stay your tongue, young man. There are complex political issues at play.
Humph. Well, anyway, I quickly jotted down those words, as she said, in my memo pad. Are you ready? I'll read it out. It's all here. Right here it goes. I should going to go with everyone to see your country's coast. Serious criminal going on some junket. The people need to know about this. That's why I decided to sneak after them. To get the woman's story so I could hammer her in the press.
Do you mean to say that you did indeed witness it firsthand? The grim scene portrayed in this photograph.
Oh yes, I saw it with my very own Jorno eyes. From start to finish, through the viewfinder of my trusty camera.
Thank you, Menimemo-san. You will now give a formal testimony before the court. You will state exactly what it is that you witnessed of the events surrounding Miss Brett's death.
Bam, 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 bam.
The beach hut was made of shoddy old reed screen, so there were plenty of gaps I could see inside through. The Englishwoman was sitting on a stool when the student girl came in and started arguing with her. Seconds later, the girl pulled out a knife, throwing the Englishwoman to the floor. She stabbed her in the back. My smoldering Jorno spirit burst into flames. Quick as a flash, I whipped up my camera, ready to click. I pulled apart the rough weave of one of the screens and poked the lens through for the perfect shot.
Read screens, you say?
Right. You could see them clearly enough in that great shot I snapped. The hut walls were just screens made of coarsely woven reeds.
Yes, it allows a breeze to pass through and bring some relief from that summer heat.
And it was a breeze for me to poke my camera through and see the whole thing hotting up.
Ignoring for the time being the appalling invasion of privacy involved, did you witness everything that happened from the moment the defendant entered the hut?
Oh yes, I saw it. Saw the whole thing from start to finish.
And you say you took the photograph through a gap in one of the screens?
Luckily for me, they were pretty shoddily woven. I pulled the reeds apart and thrust the lens of my camera through the gap. Would I get away with it? What have I seen? Was the gamble of a lifetime.
A tenacity of purpose that's considered admirable in a journalist, I suppose.
Run a risk one day, run a scoop the next. That's a Menimemoism in a nutshell.
Menimemo is
At last, it would appear we have a genuine witness to this wicked crime. The evidence and testimony are extremely compelling. I believe we may be close to a verdict. No.
Wonderful news, Your Excellency. Wonderful.
Nevertheless, it cannot be denied that this testimony begs one large question.
What question?
Exclusive news, a startling photograph, all the makings of an exceptional story for the reporter. Why then was the story never published?
Oh, that's right.
It seems clear to me that there are circumstances at play here that are yet to be understood.
Ha! More pathetic excuses.
Very well then, counsel. Proceed with your cross-examination.
Yes, Your Excellency. This matter is reported that meets the eye. He's keeping something about this case very close to his chest. Suddenly Fire Emblem.
What made you want to see what was happening inside the beach hut in the first place?
Call it Jorno instinct. Can you think of a better reason?
Oh, I don't know. Perhaps because as well as being a proven criminal, the person inside was a young woman.
Ah, I see where you're going with this. Brace yourselves, people. He's painting the Jorno as a voyeur.
It's hardly slander, sir. You had a camera and you were taking pictures without the woman's knowledge.
Nope, you got it all wrong, little student boy.
Sorry?
In my mind, all that was inside the hut was a scoop. Nothing more, nothing less. Scoop's no gender. Man or woman, it's all news. It's not even Menimemoism, it's basic journalism.
If only the courtroom was as indiscriminate.
Right. So if that's all buttoned up, can we move on?
Tell the court then, witness, what sight befell your eyes when you looked inside the hut.
A sight that vindicated my Jorno instinct, that's what. When I pulled back the reeds, I could see it all as clear as day. Englishwoman was sitting on a stool. The student girl came in and started arguing with her. She actually saw Menimemo-san entering the hut. Yep, and she was raging like my Jorno spirit. The argument you mentioned, what was that about exactly? You stole it. I didn't steal it. That kind of thing. Talking about the poison, I presume. The student girl walked right up into the Englishwoman and really started laying into her. I mean, if she'd laid into her anymore, there would have been eggs.
The man should have been an author. His descriptive talents were wasted on journalism.
But the student's ranting fell on deaf ears, like a Japanese person listening to English for the first time. Really ought to work on his similes first, though, to be honest. Anyway, the point is, that woman in the dock was mightily angry.
And her temper finally got the better of her, it seems. Dear me.
Which was the climactic moment that I caught on film. Later, a girl pulled out a knife, throwing the Englishwoman to the floor, just stabbed her in the back.
Do you swear before this court that you actually saw the precise moment when the stabbing took place?
Huh, the precise moment? I didn't just see that. I saw the whole hellish scene play out, from start to finish.
It's getting a little rowdy outside, so I've been muting the mic in between takes, and it takes a second to load.
I have here a simple plan for the beach hut.
Simple
Perhaps
plan?
you could use it to explain it to the court, exactly what you witnessed.
What happened?
How is Simple Plan going to help?
I forget what Simple Plan even sung. I keep thinking of.
I don't know off the top of my head. if you know a Simple Plan song.
Oh no! You're stealing my bit.
Right you are. It's all here in my Menimemo memo pad.
If you got a favorite bit, you know what to do.
When I first peered into that, I'm sure that the Englishwoman was on this stool at the back of the hut here.
Yes, the accused's own testimony confirmed that.
She just sat at the back of the hut, smiling sweetly, is what I have noted down.
It's my turn to testify now. Try not to interrupt.
Ugh.
In the next moment, as I was watching, the evil student girl entered the hut. After a while, the pair of them ended up in the middle of the hut, arguing furiously. The Englishwoman went for the student, but the student girl dodged out of the way. And in a flash, plunged the knife into her adversary's back as the two passed each other.
What you describe is a grim crime indeed.
Never sugarcoat the truth. That's what Menimemoism says.
By the way, Menimemo-san, whilst you were watching that terrible scene unfold before your eyes through the gap in the screen, did it not occur to you to try to prevent the tragedy rather than capture it on film?
Journos have to be observers. We can't get involved. That's our raison d'etre. Raison d'etre. I don't know how I'd say that.
Do you want to learn how to say it, or just gonna?
I'm not sure how he'd say it in that weird voice.
I don't know why a Japanese person in this time would know French isms, but I mean, here we are.
I mean, it was French and Japanese.
Yeah.
It wasn't French and English. So you didn't converse with the with the Miss Brett at all? Breast mint.
Breast mint.
Obviously not. An observer always remains on the outside looking in. That's something to be proud of, is it? Shady said license later. Oh, okay, that's it in there. Okay.
Your Excellency, if I may.
Yes, Professor.
I think the witness's last expertly phrased statement should perhaps be added to his formal testimony.
Father, what are you...
I will grant the defense's request. Menimemo-san, you will supplement your formal testimony with the aforementioned statement.
Well, nihilism is the foundation of Menimemoism, but I gladly prove that our words aren't meaningless. Really? I never once set foot in the hut, nor spoke with the Englishwoman. I was there only as an observer.
Really, you didn't set foot inside the hut at all? Are you quite sure about that?
I think you have the wrong impression of me. We're talking about a murder scene here. My nerves are stretched to breaking point already.
Oh, I see, you were scared. Maybe I did have the wrong impression of you, yes.
It was all I could do to stifle a scream and hold my hand steady enough to snap the shot.
You really should have summoned help before thinking of your camera.
Menimemoism and humanism don't always agree. And most of the time in those instances, Menimemoism comes out on top. As a sculptor of stories, sometimes I gotta be cruel for my art. Yes, that's spot on. Surely he's making all this up.
He claims to have spied the whole affair from start to finish. True, his testimony is devastating.
But it does seem as though he's holding something back, doesn't it?
If that's how you feel, I suggest you trust your instinct and press him with on everything he said. As you've no doubt seen done many times before in your role as judicial assistant.
Yes, I have. I've seen witnesses like this pressed often. I know exactly what to do. Okay. Oh, we didn't press this one.
The court is fully aware of your desire to capture the incident on film, I'm sure. But why then did you choose to post the photograph anonymously to the police?
I'm afraid I don't understand a word that's coming out of your mouth.
I'm asking why, as a journalist, you decided not to make a story out of the incident.
Think of me as a sculptor. A sculptor makes art out of the sordid, private details of other people's lives. But I never discussed my own personal life on principle. I mean, that's basic Menimemoism.
It's not something to boast about.
No doubt your burning desire to see the truth exposed and justice done was what motivated you.
That's it. That's brilliant. My burning desire to see something or other exposed.
Has to be a good reason why I didn't think to write an article about what he saw, though. By your own admission, you were outside the hut. How then did you manage to take the photograph?
Ah, yes, that. I'm glad you asked.
It's like the seventh time they've told us how he took the pictures.
Yeah, but they need to lead into the next part of the...
No, I know. It's just, it's funny. I thought we already pressed this one.
No, we didn't do this one yet either.
But the two women inside didn't notice. The two women inside didn't notice.
Ha! Obviously not. If they had, where would I be right now? In jail, that's where.
What do you think would make you reflect on what you were doing?
No, a journo's job is to collect little snippets of life as unobtrusively as possible. Leave nothing but footprints. Take nothing but photos. Yes, that's spot on. Did he just make that up?
The point is, a witness risks life and limb to obtain this photograph. And this photograph reveals the whole truth. There's nothing more to be said.
Okay, now we've done all of them. So what do you think?
Let's see the evidence. Next. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. I mean, I have a vague idea, but like it has nothing to do with any of the evidence, per se. Like, hear me out.
This is you just jumping ahead and trying to just piece together what happened without actually.
Yeah, it is, but hear me out. This is my logic. I've already established that the pen that she had in her hand belongs to Menimemo in some capacity, because the logo on his armband matches the pen. But is that what we need to show here? That he interacted with her to some capacity because she has his pen?
I mean, it's up to you if you think it does or doesn't.
It's just like it's literally what you said though. Like it's probably just me like 4D chessing a little too far in advance and just being completely incorrect because that's not what the game's trying to tell me. Like that's what that's what I would do if I was playing single player right now.
You just need to try to prove that one of his statements is false. So.
Well, yeah, but that's what I mean. Like if I were playing single player, I would use the pen in this statement specifically.
Just because you think it's connected, or do you think that this statement it works?
Because it shows that there's enough argument to say that he could have interacted with her because she has a pen from his newspaper or like company. Like that's my logic.
So should we present it?
Yeah, I mean we have a bunch of different ones and you say so. Go ahead.
Menimemo-san, until now I've had a firm belief. The
Sounds
newspapers are in the business of uncovering and publishing the truth.
You're spot on there. The press doesn't lie. That's why I'm proud to wear the emblem of the Shoyu News on my arm. In a way, that's more Menimemoism.
I'm surprised that I was right.
You are?
Well, yeah, because usually, like I said, like I'm thinking 4 questions in advance, and that's not how this game functions.
Sadly, though, it seems the journalists who write for those papers don't always share the same passion for the truth.
What are you suggesting with this recriminatory words, Counsel?
Menimemo-san, do you recognize this fountain pen?
Heck!
This pen was found at the scene of Miss Brett's death. In fact, the murdered victim was gripping it in her hand as she died.
What are you?
If you look at the barrel of the pen, you'll notice that its owner's initials are engraved there. R.M.
Oh, that was the other logic too. I forgot that it was initialed RM. Yes, thank you for bringing that up, Counsel. The initials of the accused, Raymond Bombing.
Is it a coincidence, I wonder, that your initials are also R.M.?
No! It's not a coincidence.
Write in Menimemo. R.M.
That's horse dung. Can't you see? One of the central tenets of Menimemoism is being a pencil user. And yet, as the court will clearly be able to see on your right hand, there's a very obvious blue ink stain.
I was gonna say, like, they're not even gonna have this pointed out. It's so obvious.
No, she's on it.
I'm so used to the game being like, oh, he has a pencil in his hand. What should we do?
Well, but you have Susato in charge right now. That's when it's
Yeah, that's when she uses logic and
Ryunosuke, and he's like, I don't know what's going on.
I don't know what's going on.
What is logic? What is deduction?
Does that mean he always writes in pencil? I'll never know any other alternative to write on a piece of paper. That's a weird instinct. Maybe he had blueberry pie for dinner. I don't. Ugh.
Maybe he's just maybe it's a birthmark. Maybe he was born that way.
It's a strange colored birthmark. That's literally what.
Maybe it's Menimemo lean.
Oh. It would appear that you have rather carelessly left it somewhere recently. Your favorite fountain pen, that is.
Horsey horse dung.
Horsey horse.
Menimemo-san, is it not the case that before she died, you met with Jill Brett in the beach hut?
Why'd you really today this sir nonsense? It's nothing but another excuse.
Exactly. Shoyu News will stand behind me all the way. I deny everything. There must be as many people with the initials RM as there are stars in the night sky. The defense has neither the time nor the inclination to count every star in the sky. And there's no need anyway, because this pen has more to tell. Yes, there is another clue. A clue that undeniably proves who its real owner really is.
In that case, counsel, the defense will now show the court where this alleged clue lies.
Of course, Your Excellency.
I halfway hoped that they would just show it.
The clue in the fountain pen that clearly reveals its owner's identity is. Why do you hope that?
Oh, just because of the ink stain in the hand. I'm like, maybe this is a new leaf in the game. Maybe they'll just point out the obvious without me having to do it. It's the symbol of the newspaper company.
This?
Yeah.
See, you're only like one step ahead.
I forgot all about the initials.
Yeah, you're just one step ahead.
Yeah.
You're slowing down a bit. You're letting it catch up a little.
By the next 3 games, I'll be on par with the game's expectations.
And then after that, you'll be a step behind them.
Oh my gosh, it'll be so bad. It'll be Pat Parasha levels.
He'll just be like, that proves you were at the scene. We proved I was at the scene yesterday.
Like at the end of the case, someone got murdered. It's like, whoa. Yeah, someone did get murdered.
A body has been discovered.
That was the stream from 2 days ago. We're not even playing the Among Us anymore.
That's not Among Us. That's Dangan Rampad.
Oh,
Dan.
I haven't played Danganronpa. Are we playing that?
I haven't played it yet either. If we play it, we could play it completely blind for both of us.
Super blind.
Because I have said that I want to stream it at some point, so like stream it blind,
it's on
so I could stream it with you blind, but theoretically. Oh, cool name, welcome. I just noticed you're there.
Cool name.
You messed around with the furry, different colored fluids. Ryutaro is really handsome. Is he single? About that, you might not like the truth about Ryutaro. He's been killed. There's no murder in this case. Okay. As well as the initials, there's also an emblem on this fountain pen. An emblem that you will, of course, recognize. Menimemo-san.
Goodness me, it's the emblem of the Shoyu News.
In other words, the owner of this pen is an employee of the Shoyu News, whose initials are RM. Every time I see Shoyu, I think of Shoiru, which Shoryu. Shoryu?
Here, give me 1 second.
From Neopets. Give you a second. Is he the only male ace turner that isn't gay? Sure, yeah, he's the only one that's not gay. Are we still waiting on the Inheritance? Yeah, I think so. Well, I hope you're doing well, cool name. Shoyu sounds like kind of sauce. Shoyu sauce. Yeah, it looks like Inheritance taking a quick call, so... Hope everybody's doing well. I like this music here. I think this music is just only the second game. No, I think it's a remix. Is it a remix of Susato's theme? But for court? Yeah, I think it's a remix of Susato's theme. Doing good. You played the second case in this game. Proved a man, in fact, did not eat a person. Yeah, yeah, we'll get to the second case. I am doing good. Yeah. It's almost Christmas. And as anybody who's played the first Ace Attorney game knows, it's almost Christmas means it wasn't Christmas. Yeah, it's a little stressful, but... okay, take your time, cool name. Hopefully, Inheritance is almost ready. I'm really hoping we get through this case tonight. Which I think we will. I don't know.
Okay, I'm back, guys.
Welcome back. Just chatting with cool name. So.
Okay, yeah. My family was calling in there. They were interested in what I was doing and asked me to translate some French for them.
Translate French? Okay.
Yeah, they wanted to know what "Ooh la la, mon chéri" was.
Is ooh la la? Does that have a translation? Isn't that kind of just a exclamation?
It's like a way to exclaim something, you know. So it's like, oh, like that's interesting, or how wonderful. Like it's not like common English vernacular has co-opted it to be like, ooh, sexy, but it's
I know
used in that way.
Yeah, but I didn't think it had like a direct like word translation.
It's just a sound, yeah. And then
kind of like oof.
Yeah, and mon chéri is my dear.
Yeah, I know mon chéri.
Yeah. Mon cherries.
My cherries.
My cherries. No, my cherries.
I want to like try to speak French to somebody, but exclusively change each word into a very incorrect English word that's only vaguely the same.
Mercy buckets, my cherries.
Okay, well. Suddenly the stars in the night sky don't seem so numerous, do they? Well, Menimemo-san, how do you respond?
No!
Order, order! Explain yourself, witness.
Ha! 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 Ha 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 ha!
Mandark?
Why not?
Classic Mandark.
So, this is how the mighty Supreme Court works, is it? Using coercive tactics to have well-meaning citizens reveal harmless secrets. I've used nothing but honest tactics. Alright then, fine. I won't try to hide it anymore. Yes, not long before that grim tragedy unfolded. I, a Shoryu's news reporter on behalf of the public, conducted an interview with the Englishwoman. An interview?
You never mentioned this before.
Oh, I hope you Nothing going on, cool name. I hated Menimemo when he first saw his face. I don't know, I like his mannerisms. He's like annoying, but like I like annoying sometimes. What exactly was this?
I like Menimemo.
As I said, it was before that evil little student girl showed her face in the hut. It couldn't have lasted more than 2 or 3 minutes, that's all. It was just a brief exchange. But it came to nothing, and as we Menomemoists say, the people who pay their dues for unworthy news. The people don't pay their dues for unworthy news. Sorry, I'm new to Menimemoism. Ask the older Menimemoists.
However insignificant you deem it to be, the court cannot overlook the meeting between yourself and the victim. You will testify now under oath about the precise nature of this meeting and what transpired.
Got it. Yes, alright, but... And one condition.
Condition?
You like annoying? Ah, good, that explains why I haven't been banned yet. You're not annoying, cool name. You don't like him since he looks like this guy from a different game. Yeah, he does look like a guy from a different game. I just don't know what, because I probably haven't played that game.
Hey, cool name. Do you want just for the heck of it? Do you want me to ban you for like a couple of seconds so you feel like you're banned?
I mean, you shouldn't do it because Twitch actually keeps track of bans people have gotten in channels. And it affects your odds of a global ban if you do something, if they like review a case later on.
If you got banned too many times, if you ban people too many times, they're just like, oh, his stream is just problematic. Look at how he plays the silly Japanese games.
No, the person being banned can get perma-banned.
Cool name said to time them out. Can I time them out?
I guess if you wanna. He asked for it, I guess.
He asked for it. I'm gonna time him out for 1 second.
1 second. In all good conscience, I couldn't speak out alone about this. I need to call back the earlier witness, Saseki Natsume-san.
Saseki-san?
Oh yes, according to my notes here, that man has a secret of his own. Embrace yourselves. Because it's not a harmless one, it's big.
What?
What?
Is this like just blackmail or something? Menimemoism states that one man's secret is every other man's front page story.
Very well, I will grant the witness's request in this instance.
You've been banned a few times already? And fair. But...
Officer, summon the earlier witness back to the stand.
Soseki-san, hiding something. No, this is a very dangerous space, this stream. It's the most dangerous stream of them all.
It's the complete opposite of a safe space. Let's not talk about Kamoshida. I'm playing Persona 5 Royal right now, and it's all too fresh in my heart.
No spoilers. I'm eventually, hopefully, maybe going to play that.
No spoilers on Kamoshida.
Yeah, no spoilers on Kamoshida. I asked the Englishwoman for an interview, but she declined, so I left the hut without making a fuss. Then, watching secretly from outside, I saw the woman being stabbed and the other witnesses come running. The detective realized the victim still had a pulse, so he ran off to fetch help. That's when this writer man here asked the woman a very significant question. But he didn't say anything about that in his testimony, which is why Menimemoism demands I reveal it now.
Oh, he's getting a little twitchy.
You mean to say the victim?
The victim regained consciousness?
This is you.
Well,
And what she did? You decided to ask her a question?
That's true. Yes.
He did. And that's not all. The woman gave him a very definite answer.
My
An answer that incriminates the accused.
my favorite thing about Kamoshida, and I won't say anything about it, is that when you realize that he's actually an alien rabbit from outer space. I think that's really.
I mean, I assumed that was the entire, like, cast of the game, but okay.
Oh, I'm sorry. I spoiled it.
Why am I only hearing about this now? Why didn't you mention this before, you Yoko hack?
It wasn't even a conversation.
I love that at this point he just... Ouchie has just evolved into everybody he doesn't like is now a yokel.
Yeah, that's his thing now. He runs a Yoko. Yes, I did pose the withering English Rose a question. I don't deny it. But she could no longer speak. She was barely conscious, even.
Counsel for the defense, I expect a thorough cross-examination to be conducted here. The court must and will know the truth.
Absolutely, Your Excellency. The reporters claim that Miss Brett implicated Ray somehow. What on earth could have happened in that hut? Asked the Englishman for an interview. She declined. She left the hut without making a fuss. You asked her for an interview.
You asked her for an interview, you say?
Come on, be consistent, Ryotaro.
I'm doing my best. I've never been a guy before, as far as I know. well, of course I did. I wanted to ask her about the incident she was involved in at the end of the last year.
About the case in which Dr. John H. Wilson lost his life.
That's not the way I phrased it. Menimemoism calls for straight talking. Why did he murder Dr. Wilson, is how I put it to her.
Yes, that sort of talking is as straight as a ruler.
Ask every question as if you're asking for a menu in a restaurant, I say. It's the best way. A veteran at the paper taught me that.
And how did Miss Brett answer?
With one simple phrase. Mystery is a woman's charm.
When said if Miss Brett was killed came as a real shock. The murderer, a victim, I'm not meant to root for the murderer to get away. Well, till I met the murderer, anyway.
Yeah, it is interesting the twist in that she's a victim in this case, since she was the killer in the first case of the first game. Mystery is a woman's charm. Ew, that told me, so I waltzed right out of there.
Really?
Something like that doesn't quite seem to fit together. Leave every room as if you're waltzing in a dance hall, I say. It's the best way. A veteran at the paper taught me that. I went to secret from outside, saw the woman be stabbed, and other witnesses come running.
That was very persistent of you, considering that Miss Brett had just turned you away.
Persistence wins the prize. Any memoist will tell... Any memoist will tell you that. Let them think you left. This when they lower their guard, that's when they swoop in for the scoop.
Excuse me. Choked on my saliva. let me the mic.
And defend your labor out to the parent of this telling photograph.
That's your mistake. Ouchie doesn't have saliva, so I can consistently sound like that. Oh, hope you're okay.
Ouchie exclusively lubricates his throat with witting retort.
I don't want to hear lubricating throats at all, please.
Though I'm sure the young Yoko student would rather not be reminded of his damning evidence.
Actually, it's thanks to that photograph that we managed to identify this witness.
And now that you found me, I'll tell you whatever you want to know. I've got nothing to hide.
I'm sure.
Please
Please do go ahead, witness. The court is so eager to hear what you have to say.
Try to stop me. There's a story to tell here, and I'm going to tell it. Detective realized the victim has still appalled, ran up to fetch help. And Soseki-san remained behind in the hut. That's right, yep. Our author friend here was a blabbering wreck, shaking all over from his head to his toes, mustache twitching, eyes bulging, knees weak, palms sweaty, vomit at his sweater already.
What do you expect? I had a rap battle to attend to. You don't know the terrifying troubles that taunted me once traveling abroad. Back behind painful bars. They're coming for me, surely. They'll be coming. They'll be coming for me, surely.
Cool name. I don't think Ouchie's probably rich.
That's all I could think. I felt though I was grasping for air, drowning in a sea of cold sweat.
Poor Soseki-san. His experiences in London have scarred him deeply.
As the world seemed to close in around me, I quietly recited a prayer to Amida Buddha. Eternal emptiness, empty eternity. The end is coming for me, surely.
No sutras are to resound in my courtroom, please.
And now we have come to the crucial part. That's when it happened. When this writing man here asked the woman a very significant question. What question? What exactly did he say? Well, now you should hear it from the horse's mouth, I think. Don't you, Mr. Writer Man?
Out with it, you Yoko hack!
I imagine, cool name, that lawyers in this setting, time period and stuff probably don't make a lot, especially like a district prosecutor like this. That's not like taking cases. Like he's not like taking personal cases.
What did you say to her? What did you say to the dying English woman?
Well, in truth, I'd been catching crabs at the water's edge and building castles in the sand, you see.
Well, the seaside is a place to be at leisure, I suppose, even for a grown man.
But then all of a sudden, on a little beach hut, a young girl's panic-stricken cries for help pierced the air.
Ray.
I ran up the beach to see what was happening, to find the defendant leaning over the collapsed victim. As soon as the Inspector Hosonaga saw Miss Brett on the ground, he sprinted off to get help. And then, just a moment later, I heard a faint moan, a moan from the dead Englishwoman. I nearly jumped out of my skin!
But what did you ask her, Soseki-san?
I asked her, who did this to you?
Don't protract this any longer. How did the woman respond?
She didn't. She said nothing in response. But...
When in the stand, you will answer the questions asked of you unambiguously. No, without evasion or reticence. I demand that you amend your testimony.
I will!